Hi everybody, it is week number 7. Week number 7 is really cool because it's got something no other weeks have, and that is the midway point of the semester on a 13-week semester that we have, and that will occur on Thursday at noon. So Thursday, week 7 at noon, you'll be halfway through the class. So that is a great thing, and you're looking up to it. And for this particular class, everything can be done, including your final project, before we get into finals week. So that would be, for this class, literally the halfway point. So take some time and go, yay, and then get back to work because you got stuff to do, not only in this class, but other classes as well. And I want to make sure that you are getting everything done. Now, one thing that you really need to be having front and center of your brain is that academic plan, meeting with your academic advisor, getting things all set up so you can move on and get into the next semester without any hitches, because we don't like hitches. We want you to move smoothly through the program, and that's why we have this process in place. So make sure you are talking to your academic advisor, getting that plan set up, getting it checked off, and then submit it in the assignments so I can see that you have done that and that you are set to go when the priority registration hits on November 2nd. So November 2nd is priority registration, and all priority registration means is you. You are priority because you are here and you are getting ready to move into the next semester. So you are given the priority to get the classes and get to them early so you can get perhaps a little bit better schedule maybe than you've had this semester. But hopefully it's been a good semester for you. And looking at that, so finalize that plan, get it posted, and move along and be ready for November 2nd. And the gates open at about 8 a.m. on the 2nd, so be ready and have your courses all lined up, and we'll demonstrate how to go about that process as we get closer to that November 2nd date. So what's happening for this week, back to this week, is you're going to be looking at how you get good at something. Well, not necessarily how you get good, but how long does it take you to get good? How long do you have to be working as an electrician before you're really good at what you're doing? How long does it take before you have to, as a college professor, before you get really good? How long does it take if you're going to be a concert musician before you get really good? And you may be thinking, well, it's probably different for each of those, but actually not really. Malcolm Gladwell will explain why that number is around 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours, or about 10 years. So if you're looking at that from that standpoint, it takes you about 10 years to get really good at something. Whatever it is, whatever your career choice is, it's about 10 years. So when you're looking at that, you don't expect to get out of school, out of college, and no matter what it is you're doing, and be excellent at your job, because it's not going to happen. The way you get excellent at your job is to do your job, and to do it for about 10 years, and then you're really good, and that's when people start coming to you and going, hey, you know all this stuff, can you help me out? And that's neat when that happens, but it takes time. So be prepared to deal with that and put in the time to get good at something, whatever it is. And then the other thing is I'm going to ask you to kind of take a look at a life lesson outside the class. And this comes from Tuesdays with Maury that you've been reading. And as you're going through that book, you realize that Maury's not teaching classroom stuff. He is teaching life lessons as he is, preparing to die. So what I want you to think about is, up to this point in your life, find a life lesson that you've learned outside the classroom. And they can be, I don't want to say it's inconsequential, but they're important, but also, maybe just something that made you stop and think and go, maybe I really ought to consider that as I am going through life. And just to share one from my experience when I was a teen, just getting ready to graduate and from high school, go on to college. And me and a couple of my friends, we were riding home, and I was driving, and there was this really, really, really long hill. No other cars around. I said, let's see how fast I can go. And I found out I could go really fast. Well, during that time, I didn't really know it's because I was focused on the road. Apparently, someone passed me, and this is the age before cell phones, so this makes it even more incredible. I was about 8 miles from home, if that. Not that long. At the speed I was getting here pretty quickly. I actually slowed down, went to speed limit, because right after where I was, there was actually a state police office right there, and I didn't want to go zipping by that. But when I got home, got out of my car, and got into the house, the first thing I heard out of my stepmother's mouth were, "You're grounded." Now, Mr. Innocent, why? Well, and then the story came out that you were going a little bit over the speed limit, and that's not safe, and we don't want you doing that, so you're not going to be going anywhere except to school and to work for the next several weeks. Life lesson: somebody's always watching. Somebody's always watching. Not necessarily in a negative sense. I'm not talking Big Brother type stuff, although there may be some reality in that. I don't know. Probably not. Maybe with more of our social media and things, there are more opportunities to watch. So just that's what I learned. And whatever you come up with, that's something that you've learned, share that with us as in Tuesdays with Maury. So finalize your academic plan. Get ready for the priority registration November 2nd. Think about the 10,000 hours, now that applies to your job. As far as what would you be doing those 10,000 hours, how would you be becoming an expert in your field? And then 3, just a life lesson that you learned that didn't happen in the classroom. And frankly, almost all life lessons don't happen in the classroom. And let me know if you have any questions. And I will be looking forward to seeing you online next week, week number 7, and especially celebrating you that halfway point through the semester of fall 2020. I'll see you online.